Yo, Tube, what is good? It's Aeghis. In this video, I'm going to do a little bit of an Arcane Mage breakdown, as some stuff with the spec has changed. Not too much though, so thankfully this video won't be too long and we can get right into it. I will be uploading another video pretty much directly after this one. If you just go to my channel, you'll see another one. It'll be a 6-0 with this build, being that'll be sort of the gameplay example. Didn't want to include it in the video though, because I want to keep this one nice and short. Anyways, let's get right into how to play Arcane in patch 10.1. Alright, so first I guess let's take a look at the build. So, anyways, the build we were running last patch was, I'll just go ahead and build it for you right here, is we were doing something like this, where you would play, you wouldn't have to take this talent because we had a PvP talent called Arcane Empowerment, but that talent is now gone. What Empowerment would do is it would allow you to stack clear casting an additional 2 times, and for each of those stacks you would get 5% missiles damage. So basically what they've done in 10.1 is they deleted Empowerment. They gave you baseline 5% missile damage, and with a recent patch as well, we got another 5%. So missiles right now are doing 10% more damage than they were last patch, baseline. I believe that's the correct amount. So basically what we're doing now is we have to take improved clear casting baseline always now. So the idea behind this build is that since missiles are pumping, and you can't build up arcane missile stacks anymore, because if you look here, another thing Empowerment did, by the way, is Empowerment would say that whenever you would get a clear casting, it wouldn't consume it if you used Arcane Explosion. So you could sit here in Explosion, and you could build up 5 stacks before your go, and then you would have like big missile damage. You can't do that anymore, so it's a lot harder to sort of store your clear castings, you know what I mean? So I actually think Gem here, this is the build that we're going to be playing here. It's going to be Mana Gem because it gives you those 2 on-demand clear castings. So now we'll talk about Gem for a little bit. So basically you conjure your Gem here, you know, you'll get the item, you put it on your bars, and so there's a couple like requirements for Gem. Gem is a little bit clunky in my opinion to use, but once you get the hang of it, it's not bad. So one thing you'll see here, you can't use it at full mana. Another issue with Gem is that if you don't already have 1 stack of clear casting, it actually, the talent is still bugged. If you use this while you don't already have one, what Mana Gem will actually do is it'll bug out the first one, and the first one won't count as a clear casting missile. I'll show you here. So you can see here, I can't cast this one while moving because it's not actually counted as a clear casting missiles, so you don't get the benefit from Slipstream. So I have to just sit there and cast it first, but then after that they'll count. So now that we've talked a little bit about Gem, I can show you the damage breakdown and how to actually do the damage itself, but first I need to get Gem back, so let me do that real quick. Okay, so this is going to be your basic burst. To lay it out, first you will Arcane Surge, which will deplete all of your mana. Then you'll use Touch of the Magi. This will give you the 1 guaranteed stack of clear casting, pretty much guaranteed. And then since that will give you that 1 clear casting, then you can then use Gem and it won't bug out. And then the Gem will put you at 3, which is your max clear casting stacks. And then you basically want to pump into your Magi now, so you will spend a missiles proc. You can let it channel if there's no risk of being interrupted. Then you will palm double Arcane Blast to spend your 2 Nether Precisions that you get here. Consuming clear casting increases the damage of your next 2 Arcane Blasts, so we're going to be pumping with that. And then you'll go back to missile spamming. So basically I'll just break it down for you here. So like I said, Surge into Magi, Gem, and then missiles, palm double Arcane Blast here, back into missiles. You can switch to these 2 Arcane Blasts as well. Keep spamming missiles. 2 double Arcane Blasts again. Missiles. Then you can throw in your Barrage. So there's a couple like different priorities. For example, let's say you maybe can't sit there and cast those 2 Arcane Blasts because there's 2 melees on you. Then you would just want to send in your Barrage with the 10 stack Harmony, because that's going to do big instant cast damage. Especially if you have 4 Arcane charges as well. So another cool tip here is that when you're in this downtime phase, you can use Shifting Power to reset Gem So gem and surge should pretty much always be used together. You should pretty much always try to use those together. And then during your downtime, you'll have one Magi and Palm that won't be used with surge because these have half the cooldown. You see 45, 45, and these have 1.5 and 1.5. So basically your rotation will look something like this. I'll go ahead and do it again. So can just get into it here in a second once these are off cooldown. So surge, Magi, use your gem, missiles, double blast, big crits, and then we're gonna just spam missiles again because missiles are pretty overtuned right now. Then you throw the barrage in there, and then now that you're in your downtime, you can sit here and cast arcane blasts, spend clear castings as you get them so you can get this buff back up. You can see here I have a 10 stack, so I'll go ahead and throw that. Now I can go ahead and just get my stacks back real quick. And then here you would want a shifting power, and then that'll go ahead and get you to your next touch of the Magi. You can even see here I got a surge proc with that, so that's huge. So I'll go ahead and use that. Spend this clear casting, which will empower my next 2 arcane blasts. Oh, another surge proc. Spend these clear castings as I get them. Go back into arcane blast spamming. Spend these. Send that in. Get your orbs on cooldown. Back into arcane blasts. And then you could also weave in Ring of Fires at this point. Keep doing this. And by the way, if you can't sit here and hard cast like this is where you're going to be spell stealing, throwing barrages to keep everything slowed, rooting, ringing, sheeping, and then as you can see, your cooldowns have rotated back up. Also keep in mind, remember to make your mana gems before the arena gets open. You can't give these to teammates, so they're just for you, and then you would get back into your damage rotation. So that's pretty much how Arcane is playing. Like I said, the damage is pretty good from Arcane right now. You can see my missile ticks are critting like almost 40k. We've never seen that really before. And yeah, that's basically how you play Arcane in terms of damage. If you guys do have any questions, let me know. There is going to be another tip here I'm going to show you guys actually with mass invisibility because our PvP talents have changed a little bit as well. So mass invis now replaces normal invisibility. So you can see here it says replaces invisibility. So there's something you can do in the starting gates. Basically, let's visualize here that we are in the starting gates about to enter an arena. You know, the timer's ticking down like 10, 9, 8, 7, whatever. Once it hits about like 5 or so, what you can actually do here is spec out of mass invis, go into anything else basically. So we would spec into temp. Then you can actually use your normal invis. So you would use invis, and then you can swap back into mass as it's ticking. And you'll start the game in invis, and you'll still have your mass to let you set up better with your mass invis like you could last patch. So I don't know if this is like a bug or whatever, but Jeff, I would say use it right now while it's not fixed, and let's hope it doesn't get fixed. At the same time, it's kind of annoying that you have to do that at the start of every game, but try to remember best you can. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, let me know. That's all I have. Peace.